Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and today I'm playing with a stencil from Natalie May Scrapbooking. This is a layered flower stencil. So these kind of layered flower stencils, or any sort of layered stencil, is a great way to add depth and interest to stencil work that you might do on your art journal page. It's a great way to fake that artistic ability that you might wish you had. Just by using these stencils in the way that they're designed, you can add that kind of depth to your patterns that you're using on your page. So here I'm starting off with a watercolour stem stencil that I designed for Natalie, which went with one of my classes that I've done for her this year. That was white gesso that I've added to my page, and here I'm just using a baby wipe just to soften some of those edges where I've added the white gesso. I really love the effect that did, doing that reductive stenciling through the stencil with those leaves. It's kind of peeped a bit more of the craft through. It's a really nice effect. So I'm using the first layer of the stencils here, and I've grabbed three colours, three purples, like I've got blackberry, iris and orchid. And I'm starting off with the darkest colour first, and then I'm just adding some others around it. So the darkest colour's in the centre, and then I'm just going to layer the other colours around. This is a great way to bring a bit more dimension to your work as well. And like I say, these stencils are just such a fun way to bring your stenciling alive. So now I'm just going in with the second layer. This brings a little bit more detail. So here I'm going to go in with a different colour again. So a lighter colour and also a little bit of white as well. So I'm starting to add some contrast in to those flower petals as well. So I'm just going to repeat the process in two more places because we know that odd numbers work really well. So I'm going to do 3 flowers on my page. And this one here that's just half a flower is going to work perfectly just on that right hand side, peeping onto the page. It kind of gives the feeling that the page flows off into another direction when there's just little elements peeping onto the side of it. It can create a more dynamic feel to your page as well. Again, I'm layering those colours and using the layered parts, and you can see how that creates that lovely dimension. So without trying too hard with something like this, you can create that look that looks like you've spent hours carefully painting individual petals on the leaves of the flowers, and actually you've just cheated and used these stencils, which is what they're for. I really think this is a great way to create that art journaled page that makes it look like you're a professional artist. When you've added the depth and the layers to the images that you've put on your page, you can see how they're starting to come alive just by adding in different colours on top. And all I am doing is adding the colours through those stencils. So this is really low effort. It's such an easy way to achieve that look. Then I decided I would pop a bit of sparkle paste through the stencils. This is from Funky Fossil. It's one of their stellar pastes, and I think it's in a sort of purpley colour. But I mean, you could do it with any sort of sparkly glitter paste, or even a silver one. That would just bring a little bit of shine. And I'm just popping a little bit in some places onto the flowers. So now I'm going to use the same stencil I did the reductive stenciling with in the beginning. I'm grabbing the Distress Oxides and these lovely brushes. I'm just going to add some leaves onto my page just to echo those ones that are already on the background. I'm using some lovely greens from Tim Holtz, and I'm just going to build up some layers of foliage around those flowers. This is another layered stencil from Natalie. These layered leaves are really, really pretty. So again, I'm just going in with another yellowy green here and just popping that in the centre. and just pulling those leaves over the top. So as you can see, this page has been created completely using stencils so far. There's no collage paper on here, and yet look at the layers of detail that are going on. And I really think if I had to take, as well as my paints, if I had to take one of the supply, it would be stencils, because you can create such lovely pages just using stencils. I've added a little bit of stamping there using my Shoot for the Stars stamp. This is my Dotty stamp from Funky Fossil as well. And that's just bringing a little bit more contrast to the page. Then I decided I would go in with one of Dina Wakley's glosses in fuchsia and just add some splatters, leaving the centre area empty so that I can pop some words in there too. Then I am outlining some of those leaves and just pulling those into the foreground a bit more. So the dark line around those just achieves that effect just by kind of drawing your eye to those first before it sees the rest of the things in the background. And I'm just using an ordinary fine liner for that. It's not a waterproof one, because I knew I wasn't going to go in with any more wet media. This is my Circle Mark stamp, again from Funky Fossil, and I'm just adding some black circles onto my page using that stamp. And then this is a paint pen from, goodness, can't remember what it's called, Life of Colour, in a really pretty lilac-y purple colour. Goes really nicely with the page. I decided I didn't want a really bold black for my letters, my words on this page. I wanted them to be a little bit more subtle. I didn't want to detract from the lovely stenciling that's going on the page. And this is a brush tip pen, so you can create those different thickness lines in your writing too. And I'm just popping my text through that space in the centre. So honestly, with this page, all I've used is stencils, a few stamps and a pen, and that's it. It's so easy to do, and creating that kind of really detailed look in those flowers, it's so easy using those layered stencils. So if you want to be able to create that professional artistic look like you've spent hours creating, grab yourself some layered stencils and have a play. Using different shades of the same colour, you can create real depth in your page. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found some inspiration, and I hope to see you again soon.